afternoon and welcome back, guys, on Bad Bricks and CricTracker presents Runneeti. I have two special guests with me, Cobus Olivier and Habibul Bashar. And of course, we'll talk about the match, Bangladesh versus Netherlands. Bangladesh entered this match as favorites and they played like one. They won with 9 runs. And last time when they met in 2016, they won with 8 runs. Bangladesh, Netherlands batting first scored... Bangladesh batting first scored 144 for 8 and Afif Hussain scored 38 runs of 27 balls. Najmul Hussain Shanto scored 25 runs of 20 balls, to which Netherlands actually scored 135 runs and they lost by 9 runs. Habibul, मैं आपके पास पहले आऊंगी. अच्छा क्रिकेट आज आपको देखने को मिला बांग्लादेश की तरफ से कि मैच 9 रन से उन्होंने जीत लिया.
मैंने तो नहीं बोलूंगा कि बांग्लादेश बहुत अच्छा क्रिकेट खेला, but important thing is Bangladesh won the game, which was very important. Any tournament, the first game is always onto your nerve. You're a little bit nervous. You want to start well. You want to perform. You want to win the game. You want to start the tournament with a winning note. So first game always a little bit tense. And Netherlands is not a bad side either. There were some very good players who were very successful in this kind of condition. Bangladesh won the game, yes, but the problem Bangladesh has in T20 formats, I think, still need to improve because after having a good start, Bangladesh kept losing wicket. And 144, though Bangladesh won the game, but when you score runs 144, you are always under pressure. One good innings, you can lose the game. So yes, Bangladesh won the game, but Bangladesh had to improve a lot, especially with their batting. They got a good bowling attack. The faster bowlers are bowling really well now. Remember Bangladesh playing with one bowler short, that someday might cause a problem. But obviously, I think Bangladesh need to bat well. Need to bat very well, especially top order missing out again today.
Yeah. And of course, Afif Hussain and Taskin Ahmed, they were the top performers in the match. Afif Hussain scored 38 runs off 27 balls with a strike rate of 140, 2 fours and 2 sixes. And of course, they made 144 runs for 8 wickets. Though it wasn't a very high score, but a decent score, a decent total they've put against Netherlands. But Cobus, talking about Netherlands, I can see that they used 7 bowlers today. Where did they lag today? Though 144 wasn't a great total by Bangladesh.
Yeah, I would feel if I was a member of the Dutch camp, I would be very happy with our bowling. I mean, to restrict the Bangladeshi team to 144 they did a good job. But and I think their bowlers did what was asked for them. The Netherlands often use, they've got about 7, 8 guys. It's all rounders that can bowl. Colin Ackerman did a good job today. He hasn't bowled much lately. Their fast bowlers from Mekeren was absolutely outstanding. So I think the bowlers did their job very much, and they would have backed themselves to chase down that total. But, when in your top 5 batters, 2 of your top batsmen, I mean, they 2 of the best batsmen in the Dutch team, Max O'Dowd and Tom Cooper, both got run out. Cooper without facing a ball. Max O'Dowd, of the 8th ball he faced, he got run out. And I would say that effectively, if you look how close they got, that those 2 run-outs effectively cost them the game.
Yeah. Let's show you the scorecard first. South Africa scored 140. We are talking about the first match, of course, Netherlands versus Bangladesh, and 144 for 8 scored by Bangladesh, and then they won by 8 runs. Of course, we have to talk about the next match also, which is South Africa versus Zimbabwe. How excited, Habibul, are you for this match today?
For Bangladesh, definitely it was very important to win the game, to get the momentum, to get the confidence. Recently, Bangladesh has got many success in T20 format. They're losing games. Before this World Cup, in China, they also lost. In Asia Cup, they haven't won any games. So it was important for Bangladesh, really, really important to start with a winning note, to get the confidence back. This team is a good side. I mean, they got some good players. When they played without any fear, losing, you see, Bangladesh got a very good bowling attack. It's just batting. If they just could score a few more runs, they can give hard time for everyone. So I'm really excited. I'm very happy actually because this game was very important for Bangladesh to start with a win note in this World Cup.
Now this match is done. Let's talk about the next match, which is South Africa versus Zimbabwe. And if we see the head-to-head, South Africa and Zimbabwe have played five matches against each other, and South Africa has won 5 matches. Zimbabwe hasn't won a single match. Maybe today is their day. We never know. And as we all know, that Australia pitches, they are helping pacers in this tournament, and it is given that Zimbabwe has a variety of pacers that might disturb South Africa's top order, Cobus.
Yes, actually, yes and no. Being objective, I would still say if you look at that South African top 6, I don't see them really, being put under the pump by the Zimbabwean bowlers. I believe they're used to these kind of wickets. South Africa, we play on hard, bouncy wickets. So I don't think they're going to have too many problems with the wicket. And especially a guy like the Cook, he's the key for me. If he gets going up front in the power play, and Riley Rousseau in the power play up front, if we lose an early wicket, I think it's going to be hard work today for the Zimbabwe bowlers. Their only hope really is to try and restrict South Africa, get wickets up front, and try and restrict South Africa to 160 and back themselves to chase that down. But I personally think South Africa is going to put up a big score if they bat first today. I'm looking more at around 180, even up to 200. Although I know on that wicket those runs hasn't been scored, but the South African batting lineup is capable of doing that.
People talking about their pace battery. South Africa have tall pacemen like Nokia, Rabada, and Marco Jensen, Lungi Engiri. Though they were struggling against India, what can we expect from them today?
South Africa
sorry.
Even the Keshav Maharaj also bowling very well in this condition. Keshav Maharaj also been very successful. I think if you look at these groups, India, Pakistan, South Africa, and other Bangladesh and other teams, South Africa has got very good chance to get through at the end. I mean, this team has got something. I mean, as Cobus said, they got a very good batting lineup. The batters who can score big runs with very good strike rate, right? Inclusion of Riley Rousseau, I think make a huge impact. I mean, Deacock and others that they're playing and they've been scoring runs, but Riley Rousseau, this batsman, when he scored runs, he scored run bigs, and he's been successful in every part of the world. I think his inclusion made a huge change in South African batting lineup, and they has got the pace battery who suited very well in this condition. I mean, any team playing against South Africa, they'll finding it very hard to score runs.
Yeah. Cobus, you want to add?
Yeah, I just want to say, I understand talking about the performances in India, but this is going to be very different. On Australian wickets, that pace attack of South Africa is going to be a handful up front. They've got a good variation as well. They've got Jansen. I mean, the guy's 6 foot tall, 8 inches tall. He bowls left arm. They've got Parnell up front. Everybody talks about the pace, but Parnell with a new ball in the power plays, he's been very successful for South Africa. He really moves the ball around up front, and then they've got this battery of pace bowlers. So and as I say, on Australian wickets, it's going to be very different from India, and also in today's match specifically. Zimbabwe has been relying a lot on up front on Irvine, Williams, and Raza to score their runs. It's very much those 3 batters. If South Africa get them early, Zimbabwe is in real trouble, and they could find it hard going. So I think the South African attack in this whole World Cup on Australian wickets, I rate them right up there as one of the best bowling attacks in this World Cup.
Yeah, but Habibul, they have made actually their way to the Super 12 via qualifiers and made sure they enter the big stage. How much can we expect from Zimbabwe today?
Obviously, they recently Zimbabwe has been playing good cricket, even in home series, air series, they're in good form. But obviously, they've been relying a few. They haven't scored many runs in the back. So if you look at their batting, if with Sikandara that doesn't score runs, they are struggling to score wickets. Obviously, Arvan is there. Sean Williams also can score runs, but one batsman is made the difference with Sikandara. So Zimbabwe, as Koba said, I totally agree. I think this South African bowling attack in this condition, whoever plays, they'll find it very hard. I mean, Zimbabwe still can win T20 format. We have seen some teams, we've seen some upset teams come up with nowhere and beating the top team. Team like West Indies, 2 times champion, on back home from the first round. So anything can happen, but practically and theoretically, with this South African bowling attack, Zimbabwe batters have to play very well to win the game.
Yeah. And also, Kobus, about South Africa's batting order, how difficult it will be for Zimbabwe today, how powerful you see the South Africa batting order.
Well, it's going to be interesting today on the day who they select as opening batsman. There's been quite a bit of controversy around the captain Bavuma. He hasn't been in good form. In India, he scored only 3 runs in 3 innings in the T20 series. So Raza has scored up to when they went to India and he didn't make the side. When Bavuma was injured, Reza Hendricks had opened in his place, scored 450s in 50 innings. So it's going to be very hard really to leave him out. But I think with the World Cup, starting a World Cup, the captaincy of Bavuma, I expect South Africa to play him today. It's cricket. I mean, Reza Hendricks, it's hard on him. So I think Bavuma will probably open the batting today with the Cook. Then you've got Riley Rousseau, Markram, Miller, Stubbs. And it's an incredibly powerful batting lineup. As was mentioned, especially the Cook, Rousseau and Miller. I mean, those guys can really score at 5. I mean, Miller is capable of scoring at 15 runs or over towards the back end. I think if South Africa bats, if the Cook gets going or Rousseau, that's very much a game plan up to now when they play a 2020 format. One of these top batters basically take it deep. He bats through the innings and he'll bat at a strike rate of about 120 or even more when he gets going at a Cook or Rousseau. Markram as well. I mean, Markram is right up there. And then you get these other guys coming in, your Stubbs and Miller, and they just, with overs to go. So if South Africa takes it deep and they bat at a quick rate, fast rate anyway, the South African side, I would expect them also to bat first today to make a positive statement in this World Cup. If they win the toss, they'll go and bat and they'll try and put 180 plus on the board and make a statement in this World Cup.
And also, Kubas, it's not only about winning games for South Africa, it's about winning games with margins. Because in 2021, we saw that they won 4 out of 5 matches in the group stage, and then they were denied entry in the semi-finals because of the net run rate. So it's not about only winning matches, but they have to win matches with margins so that they make sure that they enter the semi-finals.
I think there you've got to be very careful. I know South Africa has had a problem in the past, especially in the big tournaments with net run rates and with rain. But I think when you start a World Cup, today's the first game for them. You don't think about that. You don't think about net run rates, and that comes later in the tournament maybe. Today, their most important job is to go out, win the game, give it their best shot, and not think about run rates. Just go and have a convincing win. Start the tournament with a good win, give them momentum, give them confidence. And I don't think they're going to be thinking too much about net run rates at this stage of a tournament.
So the toss is delayed due to rain at Hobart, and it would happen at any time. हबीबुल, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ, अभी फिलहाल जो साउथ अफ्रीका की टीम आपको देखती है, वो कितनी ज्यादा काबिल है कि वो सेमीफाइनल्स तक पहुंच सकती है? क्या आप उन्हें टॉप 4 में देखते हैं?
The form साउथ अफ्रीका ये सब है साउथ अफ्रीका टीम में जैसे फॉर्म में है they have got very good chances definitely and this condition going to suit them. It's a tough group. India, Pakistan also playing very good cricket. Obviously a little bit behind, but other three little bit behind. But these top three teams, each and everyone not only can able to go to top four. I mean, one of them will go to the even final as well. One of these teams from this group, and you can consider them as being probably the champion also. So whoever goes to the semi-final, these groups gonna find his fight very hard. But South Africa teams condition definitely has got very good chance to qualify the semi-finals.
And especially knowing कि जो अभी performances, ऑस्ट्रेलिया न्यूजीलैंड का इतना क्लोज मैच, देन इंडिया पाकिस्तान का इतना क्लोज मैच, अभी आगे जाके उन्हें भारत को भी फेस करना है, तो उसके लिए पूरी तरह से क्या आपको ये साउथ अफ्रीका की टीम तैयार दिखती है?
साउथ अफ्रीका तैयार है, पूरी तरह तैयार है. एज आई टोल्ड यू, ये कंडीशन उसको सूट करेगा. इंडिया पाकिस्तान वी सॉ वन गेम, रन रेट शायद comes up in execution in the late, but I think winning games will be very important. Pakistan had a very good game, but Pakistan, I think their batting still, they got a very good bowling attack, but their batting is a little bit fragile at this moment. But South Africa actually had a very good batting lineup as well with their bowling. So if you ask me, I see from these groups, South Africa and India are going to semi-finals. And South Africa, I think South Africa is capable, to perform in this World Cup.
Okay, so अब बारी हमारे special segment number tracker presented by Bad Bricks 7 and CricTracker. 3 players to watch out for. From South Africa, it's David Miller, Kagiso Rabada, and Riley Russo. And from Zimbabwe, it's Sikandar Raza, Blessing Muzrabani, and Ryan Ball. Also, Kobus, do you also think that these are the players from South Africa, the players to look out for? David Miller, Kagiso Rabada?
Yes, definitely. I would like to throw in the name of Stubbs, Tristan Stubbs. He's a young guy, 22 years old, plays for Mumbai Indians. I think the Indian viewers are very familiar with him. He's a very explosive player, and he's definitely a player to watch. I would try, if I could add a name, I would add him in there as well. Sorry.
Oh. No, that's absolutely all right. I think.
Sorry.
No, it's absolutely all right. This can happen today. Maybe you can hear the crackers there in Ukraine. There you are right now, because here I can actually hear a lot of crackers bursting because it's Diwali. So I think
that was my first thought when this happened. It's just one of my dogs jumping around here, and I was in Ukraine when the war started, and I'm used to the explosions. My first thought was to just duck and dive under the table here. I must say, I'm very relieved.
Are your dogs okay? They are around you all the time.
Yes, no. In Zagreb we're okay. I'm just very glad I'm not doing this from Kiev, because you would have heard the bombs, and I'm not exaggerating, in the background. So I'm very happy to be here with my dogs. Thank you. If we have time, with the toss delayed, if we have time I've got a lovely little story that I heard this morning. I was speaking to a friend of mine, Brian Murphy, that leg spinner for Zimbabwe, and he told me a story in 1997. It was a tight match between Zimbabwe and India in an ODI, and Kumble was bowling to Craig Evans, and Craig Evans hit Kumble for 2 sixes, and he got so excited after the second 6 that he started shouting. And there's a famous story of Vivian Richards that told a bowler told him that the ball is he missed a few with Richards, and the bowler told him it's red and it's round, so you know what it looks like. And then Viv Richards hit him for a 6, and he told him, well, you know what it looks like, go and fetch it. And Craig Evans shouted to Kumble after the 2 sixes, it's red and it's round, you know what it looks like, go and fetch it. And Kumble looked at him and he said, no, it's not, it's white. So playing obviously ADI cricket. That is quite a lovely little story. No, it's not. It's one. And very much Kumble's kind of temperament.
Yeah, yeah. Very nice. Well, the toss is done. Zimbabwe has won the toss and they have chose to bat first. At Hobart, do you think, Habibul, this is a decision to make? This is a wise decision to make at Hobart since it's raining there?
Back-to-back games, probably rain might come into the in play. So and Zimbabwe probably not very confident to chase against South African bowling attack. So they think that they'll score runs and they try to defend it. That's the thing I think in their mind. The thinking in their mind. Look, it's a huge wicket. So and we have seen in the Netherlands was batting in the second innings. So it was like good wicket to bat on. Though fast ball is swinging a little bit, but new ball swinging a little bit, but then it was very well. So yeah, I think Zimbabwe think that they'll score some runs, and put the runs on the board and try to defend it. I don't think wicket will change much in this game. Weather might come into play, but I don't think wicket will change much.
Okay. Okay, talking about Temba Bavuma, Kobus, he's been the weak point. He's been the weak link for the team. What do you think he'll be thinking before the big game?
He's a very, very strong mind, Bavuma. He's got a strong mind. He's mentally incredibly strong. I think he'll put that behind him. He'll look at the game today as a new start. It's a World Cup. And I also think the wickets here will suit him a bit better because he's not a big hitter. He's not a powerful hitter of the ball. He's a diminutive little batter. So he likes to use the pace of the ball and he works it around. These little glances. He always reminds me of a typical sort of a wicket keeper, like an Alan Knott kind of batsman. A wicket keeper, he works it here, he nudges it here. And I think the Australian wickets will suit him. And he'll try and bat it to run a ball and give the strike to guys like the Cook, Rousseau, Miller around him. So I'm pretty confident he's going to do well today, and the Australian wickets will suit his game much better. And he'll be out there today very positive. He's not thinking of any failures. He'll be going in there to do the job. Captain of South Africa.
Yeah.
Huge responsibility.
So Zimbabwe, they are playing an unchanged 11 from their last match against Scotland. Let me show you the playing 11 for Zimbabwe, and then we can analyze more about the team. And of course, South Africa, we can show their playing 11 also. We'll show you the graphics once they are ready. But no changes in Zimbabwe playing 11. Kobus, do you feel that this is the best playing 11 they should be playing at Hobart?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised with the election of both Ngidi and Nokia. I thought Jansen would play, giving them the left arm, the variation of the left armour, a tall, different angle. So I expected Jansen to play. He's also a good batsman, batting at number 8. So they didn't go for Jansen and they went for the full-on pace attack today. This is a battery of fast bowlers. So I think obviously they looked at the Zimbabwean batting and they thought they're going to take them on with pace. So quite surprised to see the selection of Nokia and Ngidi. But again, probably the conditions as well. I'm not there, but they must have seen something in the wicket that make them feel that Ngidi and Nokia would be the better two on that wicket than Jansen. So a bit of a surprise for me. For the rest, it's what I expected.
Yeah, but we were talking about Zimbabwe. It won't be an easy game for them because they're playing against South Africa. And batting first, how much score do you think will be good enough for them to stay alive in this World Cup?
170 plus, definitely. South Africa, this South Africa batting lineup, they have to score more than 160. Look, so far in this World Cup, only one match we saw high scoring games is New Zealand, scored 200 plus, but most of the games is below 170, below 170. So today also I'm not expecting something like 180, 190. But Zimbabwe, I'm pretty sure they look at some scoring like, as I mentioned, the first game also 160 plus. They should be very happy if they scored 170, 60 plus or 170. Because with the South African batting attack, I don't think 140, 150 will be enough. But Zimbabwe has to bat very well to reach there, to get that total.
Because what do you think? 140, 150 or anything above 175 would be good enough?
Yeah, no, I'm afraid I also agree. I don't think 140 is going to do it for them today against the South African batting lineup. They're going to have to look at probably 160 plus. Although the key for Zimbabwe would be to get an early couple of wickets early on. If they could get a De Kock and a Rousseau out early, that puts South Africa on the back foot when they're bowling. And the one good thing about batting first is Zimbabwe will know exactly what they need to defend. So it will make it probably a bit easier for them mentally when they know we're defending 160, 150. But they're going to have to look at, I feel, about 160 plus, and then hope to take one or two very early wickets in the South African innings.
चलिए आपको पहले प्लेइंग 11 दिखा देते हैं. दोनों टीम्स की ग्राफिक्स हमारे रेडी हैं और आपको प्लेइंग 11 दिखाते हैं. जिम्बाब्वे की तो हमने यहाँ पर बात की है, साउथ अफ्रीका की प्लेइंग 11 भी आपके सामने है. हबीबुल, साउथ अफ्रीका की प्लेइंग 11 आपके मुताबिक क्या यही होनी चाहिए थी या फिर कुछ चेंजेस होने चाहिए थे?
They are going with 4 fast bowlers. They have to look at the overrate. They need to look at their overrate also. I mean, that is a concern for every team now in T20 formats because you don't want to have 4 fielders, 5 fielders inside the circle and last few hours, last 2 hours. So they got a very good pace bowling attack, and I think I also think that Jansen could be very handy, as Koba said. He's a genuine all-rounder, can really bat and bowl with good pace and can swing the ball. Jansen can swing the ball. But Lungengidi, Kaji Surabada, Nortie, Win Pandel, they all are performer. I mean, they all can win matches. They're game changer. So I think it's a very good playing 11. Obviously, with this condition, I think this team will go long and perform better than any other teams.
Well, South Africa would want to win this match because they have to play against India and Pakistan. It's time for our poll and contest now. Let's see the poll first. That how much percentage have our viewers given to? All right. So who will score most runs in today's game? David Miller, 81%, and Sikandar Raza is 19%. Well, that's a big difference actually. 81 and 19%. Why only 19% to Sikandar Raza? Cobus?
I just think, I mean, with no disrespect to Raza, he's not batting in such a powerful batting lineup, so he's got a lot more responsibility on his shoulders. Whereas I think Miller coming in at number 5 behind that solid top 4 and with Stubbs still to come that can bat, Miller's got a lot more freedom to go and play a shot. That pressure, have a look at a few balls, get his eye in, and then he can go for it. Whereas Raza has got a huge responsibility. If he goes early, he's a vital batsman in that lineup of Zimbabwe, and there's a lot more pressure on him. So he's got to play a different kind of game than Miller.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's have a look at the contest now. What is the question for today, and what do you have to tweet for us to win the contest? ओके तो आज का हमारा सवाल ये है, प्रिडिक्ट द एग्जैक्ट स्कोर ऑफ क्विंटन डिकॉक अगेंस्ट जिम्बाब्वे, और आप #badbrick7 यूज कीजिए, क्रिक ट्रैकर को मेंशन कीजिए और हमें ट्विटर पर लिखकर बता दीजिए कि आज क्विंटन डिकॉक का स्कोर क्या होने वाला है, और ये मैच शुरू होने से पहले बता दीजिएगा ताकि हम आपका ट्वीट देख सके, सिलेक्ट कर सके, और अगर सही जवाब है तो आप तक आपका गिफ्ट हम पहुंचा सके. सो गाइज, आज का एक प्रिडिक्शन भी हो जाए हबीबुल, पहले जाने से पहले, साउथ अफ्रीका या फिर जिम्बाब्वे? कौन जीत रहा है?
South Africa.
Africa. What about you, Cobus?
South Africa.
South Africa. Okay. Given that they're in the same group with India and Pakistan, they must win this match and make sure that their net run rate is good so that they can reach the semifinals as well. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining us, Cobus and Habibul, and we'll see you just after the match. Close of play is when we come back on CricTracker. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much.